Hey, I bet you can't sort like this. 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 Hey, 1, 2, 3 to the 4. Walking down the hall, second square on the floor. Keeping it hush so I don't disturb. And I keep it clean just like Listerine. I'm so respectful that when I'm eating lunch, I follow directions. In the seat with my hands to myself. Keep a low voice so I'm not too loud. On the bus, not being too goofy. Sitting down, chilling with the homies right by me. Not too loud so I get home safely. Always saying that I can sew a baby. I ain't loopy, I know what the truth be. Sewing in the restroom and being outstanding. My hands get a good wish-washy. And when I leave, I make the toilet go flushy. So every day when I'm at school, I know that I can keep it real cool. By being safe and respectful. Outstanding and accountable. I bet you can't sort like this. Bet you can't sort like this. Bet you can't sort like this. I bet you can't sort like this.
Good morning, boys and girls. We are going to continue to talk about building relationships and friendships here at school. Just as a reminder, building relationships means to develop friendships in a respectful and trusting manner. So what does a good friend do? I want you to answer that question with your teacher real quick. I'm going to give you about a minute or so to answer. What does a good friend do? Think of some things. Alrighty, hopefully you came up with some great things. And you probably came up with some that I came up with as well. So good friends play fairly, right? Good friends listen. Good friends follow the rules. They're not tempting you to break the rules either. They help you with work. They stand up for others who are in trouble. They're definitely not a bully. They make good choices. They're good examples. They include everyone when you have group work or when you're even on the playground. They don't hit or kick, right? We always want to keep our hands, feet, and objects to ourselves. They tell the truth. They use kind words, and they do not steal. They also compromise. When you don't get along with someone, don't you try to find out a solution by both giving up something to get something? Good. So today we're going to read Tullullah's solo, which is about a little girl and her little brother who are in a ballet. So listen along, and here we go. Tullullah knew she was an excellent ballet dancer, so she was certain that this year she would be doing a solo in the winter recital. She was sure her little brother, Beckett, would become an excellent ballet dancer too. She was glad he wanted to learn ballet. She could picture him, back straight, arms graceful, dancing behind her with the other kids while she did her perfect solo. On the first day of dance school, Tullullah showed Beckett all around the studio. "This is the bar," she told him. "You hold on to balance. These are the mirrors so you can watch yourself move. And this is the chair where you sit if you misbehave." Uh-huh, said Beckett, but soon he was more interested in sliding on the smooth floor in his new black slippers. Throughout his class, he paid attention only some of the time. He held first position for just a few seconds before kicking his feet from side to side. He giggled when the teacher said, "Show me beautiful arms." He picked his nose. Tullullah couldn't believe that he wasn't sent to the timeout chair. At the end of his class, she told him, "Beckett, you have to pay better attention if you want to be a good dancer." "Watch me." "Uh-huh, uh-huh," said Beckett, and he did for a little while. Then he wandered into the waiting room to play with his toy car. "Very nice releve, Tullullah," her teacher said when she rose and held her balance for a long time. "I will stay up even longer during my solo," she thought with a smile. "I will look like a princess in my new tutu and sparkling tiara, and I'll dance like one too." But she wasn't sure Beckett would be dancing behind her. "I hope he'll do better next time," she told herself. But next time, he kept making faces in the mirror. And the following week, he tried to hang upside down on the bar. That day, he did end up in the timeout chair. "Serves you right," Tullullah whispered. She never fooled around during ballet. Tullullah concentrated especially hard in her class. "Lovely plie," said her teacher. "The plie I do during my solo will be even lovelier. The audience won't stop applauding. I will have to take 5 bows." Then came the recital audition. A tall, slender man stood in the studio that Saturday afternoon. His name was Mr. Fontaine, and he was a choreographer. He told everyone he had created a new ballet called The Frog Prince, and explained that he would be picking the dancers for it. "The Frog Prince, isn't that exciting?" Tullullah whispered to Beckett. She just knew Mr. Fontaine would choose her to be the princess. She wouldn't even mind kissing the frog. "The audience will throw flowers," she said to herself. "Real ones. And Mr. Fontaine will hand me the biggest bouquet." "Uh-huh, uh-huh." Beckett grinned and jumped from one foot to the other, until his shoe fell off and he had to put it back on. Tullullah shook her head. She hoped that he would at least get to be the water lily in the frog's pond. Mr. Fontaine showed them steps and had them dance alone and in groups. Tullullah jumped lightly as a cat in a first-rate pas de chat, landed beautifully, and gave the choreographer her most excellent royal smile. On Monday, she was still smiling when she and Beckett and their mother arrived at the ballet studio. The list was already on the bulletin board. Tullullah ran over to find her name next to Princess. But it wasn't there. "Look, Tullullah," said her mother, "you're one of the princess's ladies-in-waiting. And Beckett, you're the frog before he turns into the prince." "Ribbit," croaked Beckett, hopping around the hall. "The frog? That's not fair," Tullullah cried. "He got a big part, though he goofs off. I got a little part, and I worked so hard." She ran into the girls' room and threw down her ballet bag so hard that it banged into the garbage can. "The Frog Prince is a stupid story, and Beckett's going to be stupid frog," she yelled. She stayed in the girls' room until Beckett's class was over. She did not talk to him when her class began. During rehearsals, she did not look at him while he learned his duet with the princess. Mr. Fontaine and their teacher were paying enough attention to him. Before long, the whole audience will pay attention. "Nobody will notice me at all. Nobody will throw a single flower," Tullullah scowled. Then, one afternoon, her mother said, "I think Beckett could use your help." Tullullah sniffed. "Frogs don't need any help." "Our frog does," her mother replied. "You know he decided to take ballet because of you." Tullullah sniffed again. Then she sighed and went to find her brother. He was in his room, staring in the mirror, trying to stay down in the grand plie. "I'll never do this right," he cried. Suddenly, Tullullah remembered all the times he used to watch her practice in the mirror, then try out the moves on his own. He really did decide to take ballet because of me. Standing as straight as their teacher, she said firmly, "Yes, you will. Now watch me." This time Beckett paid close attention. She showed him how to do his other steps as well. By the recital, Tullullah was the most graceful of the ladies in waiting, and Becket had become a pretty good frog. Mr. Fontaine told him what an excellent job he'd done. It's because Tullullah helped me, Becket explained. I see, said the choreographer. I'll remember that. And he did. That spring, when he returned to choreograph the year-end recital, he picked Tullullah and Becket to star in his latest ballet, Hansel and Gretel. In the grand finale, Tullullah, flashing her best big sister smile, rescued her brother from the wicked witch. And as they spun around the stage, the audience applauded their perfect duet. The end. So, boys and girls, I want you to think about how this story relates to being a good friend, and I want you to have a little discussion with your classmates and your teacher about how you can encourage others and be there for them when they're in need, just like Becket. So remember to soar at Norton Park and have a great day.